Shara. Thank you so much, Faika, for joining today.
Thank you.
As you know, the show is about women who are inspiring, who are empowering, and I love highlighting them. And I know Faika's story, and Faika, thank you for joining me today to share your story.
Thank you for inviting me. I'd love to share my story with you.
Of course, Faika. So let's get into it. Let's start. Faika,
Sure.
tell us about your story, your life, whatever you want to share with us.
I'd love to share everything, but let's just start with I was born and raised in Pakistan, and I was raised in a joint family by two lovely parents who I'm very close to, and then I have two siblings, and I'm very close to them as well, even in age also, because the funny thing is that in 2 years we're three siblings.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So we're pretty close.
Okay.
And then I got married to this very wonderful man, Basharat, and we have two kids together, and they're beautiful children. And then I have a few businesses, and that's about it.
That's about it, Faika. When do you have time for yourself, right? So obviously, life was very different, is very different in Pakistan. Would you agree with that?
Of course, definitely.
How long have you been here in America?
It's been 8 to 9 years.
Okay. Do you still miss Pakistan? Is Pakistan still your home?
Of course, I do miss some aspects of the country, but wherever my family is home to me.
Yeah.
And of course, I miss a lot of things there. I miss my parents who are still there.
Yeah.
I miss them the most, and then the rest, everybody's here, and I'm happy.
Yeah.
Quite
What
happy
about the
to be
food?
Here. I think we have good options in Dallas.
That's what we do. I will
happy.
say that. I will say that. I went to Pakistan last year, and I could not tell the difference in taste. And I was like, wow,
I know,
okay.
we're very
I
blessed
think
to be
we're
in
very
Dallas.
lucky.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So, Faika, you said you have your family here, right? And you came here 8-9 years ago. I met you when you had your clothing business.
You're right. I remember that, and I even remember the heart shirt that I sold you. From
Yes,
Sharjah.
yes, that's right.
That.
Oh my goodness, yes. It was right. It was before Valentine's Day, but I remember that shirt. I still have that shirt.
It looked really good on you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. So, how did you get into clothing? And
it was actually just we had recently moved to the States back then.
Okay.
And we moved because my son got diagnosed with autism.
Okay.
That's why we made a decision to move, and within like 2 or 3 weeks we wrapped up everything that we had there.
Okay.
And we made this move for, it was like an emergency kind of a move.
okay.
And when I came here, we were still figuring out what to do. And of course, the passion for fashion in me was like, oh my God, where do I find nice clothes?
Yeah,
And then my husband was like, why don't you just open your own boutique?
Yeah,
So I'm like, okay, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
And then I spoke to the designers that I was already in contact with back home.
Yeah.
So I told them maybe we could, do a multi-brand boutique here.
Yeah.
And that's how Eastern Lounge, the name of my boutique,
Right,
that came up.
Yeah, it was such good quality clothing. And
That was my main goal, like to get quality clothing.
Yeah.
And sort of my main thing was that if something is in Pakistan, if something comes up in Pakistan, it has to be here at the same time.
Yeah.
So for that, even I had to go like 2 times. In 2 months I would go.
oh wow.
I would like a new collection has launched. I have to go and get it.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. No, and thank you for providing that service. And now I think with online, it's very easy.
Right.
Within a few days
Right,
you can have those clothes at your doorstep.
And that wasn't here. That wasn't there before.
Yeah.
So the reason for my closing the store was also one of the reasons was this, that now everything is easily available. You can easily get it online. So I felt that there was no need for that
that's
anymore.
True. That's true. Absolutely. You mentioned something. You mentioned your son and how he was diagnosed with autism, and in an emergency you moved here. Can you talk about that?
Of course. So Shesha is my second child, and I had him when I was 22.
Okay.
So I was almost a child myself.
Yeah.
And when he wasn't typically developing like my older one, because they're just 2 years apart. and I would notice things.
Okay.
But as a mother, I would just tell myself that no, it's not possible.
Okay.
Even though I had studied child psychology in college as well, but I was like, no, that's not possible, because you know, there's something that you feel that cannot happen to you, or you're in a state of denial. So that is what I was. So when he wouldn't speak, he was 2, wouldn't speak a word, wouldn't give any eye contact. So we took him to the pediatrician, and he was like, you have to get him diagnosed by a psychiatrist. And when I had the formal diagnosis, and I still remember that date was in Karachi. So me and my husband were sitting there, and it was the worst way anybody could communicate to any parent that your child has autism. It was a place called Ma Aisha in Karachi. And I remember the lady sitting behind the desk, me and my husband, and she told me, be prepared for the worst.
Okay.
Your life is over. And this is the end. Now your life is just going to be for your child. You should know he's never going to get married, never going to have a normal life. He's going to have nothing. He's just going to be a responsibility that both of you have.
Wow.
And the only thing you have to think about is him and nothing else. And me and my husband, we cried. We just didn't cry. We were hysterical, literally. We were shaking, and we were just out of control.
Yeah.
And then my parents were in Lahore, and we were in Karachi, so they came over, and they took the next flight, and then they stayed with us for a few days, because for a few days we wouldn't even see the children. Basharat and I were just crying, just sitting on the sofa and crying. And then we decided that it was getting very difficult being there. Shesha was going to a preschool, which was a very good preschool. It was owned by some very nice Parsi ladies, and they were very accommodating. They were like willing to do whatever it took. Autism wasn't very common back then in Pakistan, or if it was, people were hiding it and not coming out with it. But we tried finding therapies. We were willing to pay as much as we could, do whatever it would take, but there was nothing. And my breaking point was that Shesha was playing with his friends and his classmates, and another mother sitting next to me, she was like, apne bachcho ko le aa, because we don't want them to get infected with the same thing as Shesha. So that was my breaking point, Sadaf. And then I told my husband that it would be very difficult to raise this child in this society. So that's when we moved. We packed up everything, and we applied for the visas and whatever, and we just packed up and we're going.
Any regrets coming here?
None at all. Except that, maybe when I see my husband, I do feel that he was doing so well there. I really don't consider my business, the one that I had there, as a loss, because I continued it here. So it wasn't a loss for me, but my husband was a bureaucrat. He was at a very high bureaucratic position there. And leaving that for a man, just for the sake of his child, is a big deal. And then coming here and starting from scratch at that age, I felt the only regret, if I'd say, if you'd call it a regret, that wouldn't be like an appropriate term, but maybe if you'd call something that I miss about being here, is that my husband was doing very well there. And he was very happy with what he was doing. He had worked hard to get that career. And he just gave that up in like
it's amazing what we do for our children, right? And so how is your son doing here? What are some of the resources that are helping him, are helping you? Obviously, here you will not have someone give you such news the way that you were received, right?
So sort of, it's not about just the therapies and the medical intervention and everything that's available to him. That's another thing, But the acceptance that he has here, he goes into the school, everybody would know his name, the teachers, the principal, even the kids, the neurotypical kids, they would be like, hi Shesha, even though he would not even respond. But the kind of acceptance he has here is amazing to see. We would go to, my life doesn't stop. I take him to restaurants, I take him to parks, I take him to museums, everywhere. And I just have to tell them once that my son has special needs, and they go out of their way to make sure that we're comfortable and we're not feeling like somebody. 2 years ago, I was in Pakistan. I just mentioned that now. We were in a mall, and I had forgotten, because I was living here for so long, I had forgotten how it is for Shesha to be in a public setting in, Pakistan.
Okay.
So I still remember that he was sitting, I made him sit on a bench and I was shopping, and he was sitting next to a gentleman who looked pretty educated, and so he was seeing something on his phone. So Shesha immediately started seeing in his phone, and he told me, "Aapka bachcha badtameezi kar raha hai." I'm like, he has special needs. So ghar pe rakhe na. And I'm like, okay, I had forgotten about it.
Wow.
That this is the level of comfort that we have here, which we could not find anywhere else. The level of acceptance.
Oh my goodness! And do you feel like even with society from our South Asian culture, it's also accepted here?
Oh yes, yes, definitely yes. People know more.
Yeah.
But one thing, Sadaf, that they may be accepting us as a family, but I feel that there's still many people living here with children with special needs who prefer to hide it.
Okay.
Because especially, I've spoken to a lot of women who would message me in my inbox, and they're like, how come you are living life so normally while our husbands refuse to accept that our son has a special need, and they just tell us that why do you want to label him? What will the world say? What will our parents back home say? And I'm like, how unfortunate.
That is.
Not just for the mother, but for the child. You're not giving him a chance to be who he is. You're not giving him. You're not accepting your child as he was given to you. This is so unfortunate. You're doing the wrong thing.
I feel like that's a lack of understanding on so many levels. If you're a person of faith, it's a lack of understanding of your faith. If you are, just the understanding of life in general, that this is something that, this is the cards you are dealt with, you need to embrace, you need to accept.
Exactly.
And live, right?
Exactly.
And so was there a moment where you didn't accept this?
That's what I told you about. Like in the beginning, I could see the signs, but then when I got the diagnosis, when I came over it, and I'm like, it's me fighting for my child and his rights.
Okay.
He is a citizen of this world, just like me. So what if he has special needs? So what if he needs things differently than I do? So if his learning ability is different than everybody else's? He is a human being, and he was born into the world, and he has an equal right to everything that everybody else does.
Yeah.
So I had to step up for my child, and I'm blessed to have a husband stand by me in every step of the way, and sometimes even hold my hand when I'm falling down in it. He would just pick me up and say that, we're in this together, and I'm so blessed.
Yeah. What about family support, aside from your husband? You mentioned you had a big network here, but your parents are still in Pakistan. Yes, your husband being that supportive, but at the same time, sometimes you need more of a network, right?
And so honestly, touch wood, I am actually blessed, because my siblings, their spouses, my uncles and aunts, everybody is so understanding of Shesha. You don't expect your sibling spouses to understand these things, but they would sometimes put Shesha in front of their children. They're going to go that, no, Shesha comes before. He needs this. They're going to take things out of their children's hand, and Shesha needs this. So,
that's beautiful.
And especially my bhabi, Shafali, she goes out of the way. My brother Irfan, sister Faiza, they would go out of their way to make Shesha comfortable in their homes, and and they would make it a point that me and Bashar can have our own couple time while they take care of the kids, and this is something that any special needs child would want.
So Faika, what would you say to mothers that are still trying to hide their children or not accept that their child may have some disability, some special needs?
So if I feel that they're just not being fair to themselves and their child, because this is not anybody's fault. This is who they're born with. We all have our flaws. If we go to a psychiatrist or a psychologist, I can assure you they're going to put some kind of a diagnosis for everybody.
100%.
Every human has issues.
Yeah.
So what if theirs are more visible, or theirs are more towards what we don't call normal.
Yeah.
What is normal?
What is normal? Mm-hmm.
You know, I read it somewhere. What is normal? Normal is just a setting on the dryer. There's no other thing that is normal. Nobody else is normal.
Yeah.
Normal is a very relative term. So I feel that they need to understand this, that this is a blessing from Allah. This is their path to Jannah.
Yeah.
They need to earn it. They need to work towards it.
Yeah.
This
It's
is
not
the
going to be
easiest-
easy. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they need to do this for their child, for themselves, for their own sanity. Once they start speaking to other people who are going through the same
Yes.
thing, they will understand this, that there is such a big community out
Yeah.
there willing to support them, willing to walk the path with them, willing to share their issues, and they'd find so much more help.
Yeah, and that's important. We talk about, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and often, people with disabilities, children with disabilities, are often not included in part of that conversation. But now there's more awareness that is happening all across the world, you would hope, right?
Exactly.
And so that's something that, it's sad to hear that, we're slowly progressing in other countries, but I think eventually we'll get there. And I think these types of disabilities have happened, do happen. It's just a matter of acceptance, right?
That's true.
And, because, this show is about women empowerment, obviously for you to be as strong as you are and as motivated as you are, you must have had someone in your life, some strong woman in your life that you would look up to, that has helped you. And I mean, can you share who possibly?
Sadaf, I'd say that maybe it would be unfair to say the name of one woman
absolutely,
only.
absolutely.
But it's been a tribe of women
Yeah.
who have motivated me, who have given me invaluable advice and life lessons that have made me who I am today. I was a very young mother. I had no clue where I was going. And I have been blessed to be surrounded by women who have always uplifted me, always.
Yeah.
And it's just because of them that I have been able to accept everything as it is.
Yeah.
What did you do with the money you saved on electricity by switching to Discount Power?
I took all my friends out to dinner.
I paid off all my credit cards.
I took my whole family on a vacation.
I bought all this.
At Discount Power, saving you money on electricity is our business. What you do with it is yours. Great rates, great service. Simple. Visit discountpowertx.com today and save.
Hi, I'm Dr. Sonia Reddy. We're a full-service practice focused on dental implants, cosmetic veneers, sleep apnea, and braces. If you're embarrassed with your smile or have chipped, cracked teeth, call our office for your free consultation. I'll personally take care of you.
For all your real estate, commercial or residential needs, contact Hassan Sumbro at kw.com or call 972-333-4801. Hassan Sumbro, Realtor with Keller Williams.
Glow and Grow with Cheese, a digital recreational platform for homemakers. Follow Glow and Grow on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube because we all could use a little reminder of how awesome we are.
Marine Mill Supply deals in casters and wheels since last 52 years. For more information, contact 9232431374, 9232421821, or you can visit our website www.mmscasters.com.
Solar company has an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau, OneSolarSolution.com. Which solar company offers in-house financing with the best rate and easy approval? OneSolarSolution.com. And which company has the best looking brand ambassador? No one else. OneSolarSolution.com. Look, I know you want solar, and everybody does, but you might think it's expensive. If we can't match your electric bill with our in-house financing, we'll cut you a check or gift card for $25 just for the try. Go to OneSolarSolution.com today.
Welcome back. This is Fire Within Her. I am your host, Sadaf Haq, and today we are with Faika Basharat. Thank you again, Faika. So you were giving advice to mothers who are possibly having a hard time accepting that their child may have special needs, or maybe society is giving them a hard time. So you were sharing advice for them.
I feel, Sadaf, that the first thing is that they need to understand what they're doing is a disservice to themselves, their child, and their family. If they're not going to understand the child, if a mother is not going to accept the child for who they are, who else would? And especially when you're living here in America, then you have the right to move away from those people who would talk anything negative about your family. You cannot change family. You can change the people around you, right? You know, when we moved here, and initially I felt that I was very shy taking Shesha to people. So I spoke to his therapist. I'm like, what do I do? We're not making any friends anymore. We had such an active social life back in Karachi. What do we do now? And she was like, first, you as a couple, meet people. Then decide who you want to introduce to your family.
That's okay.
So this is, take it step by step. Don't put every package of yours in front of people immediately. So take it slow. First accept that your child has special needs. Be the special needs parent. It's okay. It's a label. Take it. Take it with pride. It's okay. Everybody's different. Everybody has their own problems, their own scars that they're hiding.
Absolutely.
Don't hide this. This is your child. This is about your child.
I know. That's so beautiful to hear that. Well,
it took a long time to understand this.
Yeah. And so you said you took him back to Pakistan 2 years ago?
Yeah, because my husband's leave was expiring. So we were hoping that, you know, in case things have changed, we could probably make the move back for his sake. But then we figured that it would
See,
be
and
much better here.
I think Allah shows you signs,
Exactly.
right? That this was a good decision for you, and so well, I mean, I'm glad you're here. So,
and I'm glad to be here. Thank
yes,
you.
absolutely. So you mentioned your mother, and well, you didn't mention your mother, but you said a tribe of women, right, that are super empowering, and
of course, who can be the leader of that
of course,
tribe?
your mother, absolutely, which is so beautiful. And Faika, I am sure that you are instilling the same motivation and empowering qualities in your sons. I think that's one of the things that people don't realize is that, yes, we talk about women empowering women and women empowering girls, but it's equally as important to empower men
I think
and boys.
There will be no need to use this word women empowerment if mothers of boys like me understand our responsibility and our role that is there to, change the whole mindset and understand that sort of women empowerment for me is the first step to attaining equality. I feel that we should use this as a step on a ladder. We shouldn't just end this here that we achieved women empowerment. That's not the goal.
No, it's not.
The goal is to reach equality, and that can happen only us mothers of young boys can tell them that this is what we're aiming for.
Yeah, absolutely. That's one step. Another step is women, even supporting each other, which unfortunately sometimes just doesn't happen.
I know. But you have to find the right people.
You do. You absolutely do. And I always pray for that. Surround me with men and women that will be good for me.
Exactly.
And so,
when you talked about my mother, so I remembered one thing. We used to, she used to pick us from school, and it was a long drive back home. So I used to ask her, "Mama, मैं क्या बनूं? What should I become when I grow up?" So every time she would answer, "Beta, insan." And I used to think that she's being sarcastic, that maybe I'm naughty and she's telling me to be an insan.
Yeah.
But then when I grew up, I realized that those were such deep words, because the first thing you have to strive to be is a human.
Yeah, that's true.
Before being women, before being mothers, daughters, sisters, wives, we need to be human first.
Absolutely. And I think that's amazing advice that your mother gave you. Would you pass that on to the viewers that are watching us?
Of course. That's I think the first thing. You need to be a human first to understand that everybody else around you is also one. Everybody has their own battles. Everybody's going through something that you don't know about. So don't judge. Just be in their position first. Just try to understand that we're all human. We have our own flaws. We have our own, shortcomings. We come as a package. Don't judge.
Absolutely, Faika. I 110% agree with you. Real quick before we end, can you share about your business, your baskets that you made?
Oh, sure. So basically the baskets just came about as, again, talking about women empowerment. One of my friends, a very good friend, Samira, she called me one day and she's like, "I need to make a basket for my sister-in-law." That was in COVID times, and we were struggling in the business that my husband and I were doing together. And she was like, "I need ideas." I'm like, "Okay, it's very simple, Samira. You do this, you put this, and you put that in this way." And she's like, "It's simple to you. Can you make it for me?" I'm like, "Okay." And I asked my husband, I'm like, "She wants me to make it for her, like take money for it. So do you think I should?" He's like, "If she's asking you, why not, And that's how it started.
Oh, wonderful. I didn't realize it was born just this year.
Because we were struggling to, I was with my husband in his lab.
Yeah.
And since there were no patients, so there were not enough samples. It was a tough time.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
That came about.
Oh, wonderful. I mean, I know I've utilized your services,
thank you.
and
yes,
literally, in 24 hours, I had, a gift for one of my friends. So thank you for that. And what is the name of the business for those that are watching?
It's Red Riding Hood Gift Baskets.
Okay.
And I make custom gift baskets in your budget. You give me a budget. You tell me about the occasion. You tell me about who the recipient is. And I will try to make a gift basket that they're going to love.
Yeah, very simple. Trust me, it was wonderful. So. And I brought that up because you are so busy, but yet even during that time, you're a businesswoman, You're a mother, you're a wife, you're a sister, daughter. You know, I mean, all the many roles that you hold.
When I got married to Basharat, I told him one thing. It was an arranged marriage. It was very difficult getting my thing across to him initially, but we made it. So I told him one thing. I'm like, can I just say something? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, I'm a daughter also, and a sister, and a friend, and a very good one at that. And there's certain hobbies that I have. So will I only have to be your wife, or can I just switch my hats?
Yeah, exactly.
And he's like, of course, you know, and he never stopped.
Yeah.
He just was always like, if I'd go that, okay, I want to go see my parents in Pakistan. He's like, okay, I'll keep the kids. Go ahead. Go be the daughter you want to be. Go be the sister you want to be.
Exactly.
If your sister-in-law or sister's giving birth, you want to be with them, go ahead, spend 3 days with them.
Yeah,
I don't care.
yeah. And for him to accept your many roles is beautiful and empowering.
It is,
right?
Of course it is.
Exactly. Well, thank you, Faika. Thank you for sharing the story. And, you know, I hope that mothers out there, if you have children that have special needs, know that there are resources out there. Know that there are mothers out there that are dealing with the same story right now. And so everything's going to be okay. Thank you, Faika. Once again for sharing your heart and sharing your story.
Of course, thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Of course. That was it. Fire Within Her. Thank you for joining us today.